Well, Kimberly Mullins is a Bahamian resident who's been helping with relief efforts on the islands, and she joins me from Freeport in Bahamas. And Kimberly, you know, when we look at the pictures coming to us from the islands, the damage was so intensive. What kind of conditions are you seeing?
I'm seeing the same conditions, except it's getting a little bit better because residents have started to begin to clean up their own homes, try to clean up the streets as best they could. You know, there's nothing like quickly trying to return to a state of normalcy, and that's what people are trying their hardest to do. They're utilizing the sunlight that's been out yesterday and today to try and dry their clothes, dry their things, dry their homes. I don't know how that sounds to you, but imagine people trying to dry their homes. You know, so
yeah,
it's pretty devastating.
It sounds incredible. I think what's really interesting is that you actually study in the Carolinas, don't you? And that is now also being lashed by Dorian. Are you worried about what's happening back there?
I'm definitely worried about what's happening back there because a lot of Bahamian students study in the Carolinas, especially in North Carolina. For me, I always tell myself if I have to go through a hurricane, I would much rather go through a hurricane in the Bahamas, especially on my island here in Grand Bahama, for the mere fact that we have one of the most impressive building codes in the world. And yet still we receive significant damage on Grand Bahama Island. We flood, but we don't normally flood as much as we did this particular hurricane. So that was tremendous. I really don't know what to say about that. I've never seen water come as far inland as it has. When I think about the Carolinas, in all honesty, I always say, you know what, I can't stay in my apartment. I don't want to stay in anybody else's apartment because these homes, as quick as they go up, they look like they come down. I saw the storm developing in the Bahamas. I left to go back to school on the 21st of August, and I was home by last week Friday. I was already on a flight back home. There was no way I would let a hurricane hit and I would not be home. I just went through Florence last year over there, and I realized that I could not make it if I were to stay. So I decided I would come home.
I know that there are international efforts going on in the Bahamas right now. Are people getting the help they need?
I want to say half and half. The issue that a lot of people are facing is getting through the red tape which the government of the Bahamas has put up. So they have a list of charities and organizations that they want people to donate to. If you donate to somebody else or our consulate or anything like that, they're going to tell you that, you know, it's going to go to NEMA. What NEMA is going to do is if it's not going specifically to one of the named organizations that they have, they're going to consider it a gift to the Bahamas, meaning essentially it can go into anybody they want it to. And that doesn't always mean people who need the help. You know, a lot of those people who work in these agencies are going to look out for their family members. Realistically, that's how it's always been in the Bahamas. I'm a reporter, so I've been on walkabouts with some of these organizations, and I've seen how sometimes they don't give the resources to who they need to give it to. So internationally, what I'm applauding people for is, you know, they're organizing private relief efforts. What the red tape that I'm talking about is, you know, we still don't have clearance for the airport as yet, which we understand, you know. Our airport is in a state of, it's not even, you can't land. The airport is not what it's supposed to be. Helicopters are just landing.
So, I mean, how long do you think it's going to be before the islands recover from this?
It's going to be a couple of years. This isn't something that could happen in 1 month or even, I want to say, 6 months. The island of Abaco is gone from Grand Bahama halfway, you know. Water damage was so significant, so I don't know what to tell you.
And how long do you think you're going to stay there then, Kimberly? Because I suppose at some point you'll be thinking about going back to the Carolinas, but you don't want to go too soon because they're also going to be dealing with damage.
Exactly. So thankfully, I live in the triangle of North Carolina. So for me, I have to see what's going to happen. I don't want to leave here and then don't have anything to return to. So I'm being mindful of that constantly. I'm not sure when I'm going to go back. I might have to sit this semester out. That's how it's looking right now, but I am trying my hardest to manage to deal with what's happening here at home and try to keep up with my studies. And it's pretty difficult.
Kimberly, it clearly is a very difficult situation, and we thank you for taking the time out to speak with us. Hope your family are safe. Kimberly Mullins there in the Bahamas. OK, let's get